Modern women express their distress on TikTok as men continue to overlook them. It's an influx of tearful selfies and unstable voiceovers, hashtags like single life, and men ain't shit accumulating millions of views. The algorithm thrives on the drama, and frankly, it's tough to look away. The challenge of being a single, plus-sized woman facing fatphobia is exhausting. It's not merely the snide remarks or the lingering glances, it's the relentless sensation of being evaluated before you even speak. Society has this unwritten guideline: thin is desirable, and everything else is an imperfection to be corrected. It's 2025, and somehow we're still ensnared in that old narrative. It doesn't even appear that men enjoy pursuing women anymore. Where's the excitement of the chase? The grand gestures? It's all swipes and ghosting now, as if romance has been distilled into a fast food drive-through. Quick, inexpensive, and unsatisfying. I'm at home, yes, and I'm so tired of waiting. My apartment is silent apart from the hum of the refrigerator and the sporadic ping of a notification that never comes from the right person. I just long for love in my life. Something genuine. Something that doesn't fade out after 3 texts or a lackluster coffee date. I feel like royalty. I am the lion. This is my domain, like a gorilla ready to fight. I have this passion within me, this roar that has been building up, yet there's no one here to listen to it. I've created my kingdom, my career, my essence, my small place in the world. And nonetheless, it seems vacant without someone to share it with. At this point in my life, it feels like, dear God, I'm practically on the edge of tears. The pressure of it all crashes over me in waves. The late-night scrolls through dating apps, the hopeful conversations that go nowhere, the friends pairing off while I remain here alone. I'm on the brink of crying because yet another situationship has concluded. This one lasted, 2 months? Sufficiently long to get attached, too short to leave me questioning why I even bothered. He claimed he wasn't ready, but I saw the new girl's pictures on his Instagram story last week. I've been attempting to meet someone, just anyone deserving of my time, for years. It's been a sequence of disappointments. The guy who only wanted a hookup, the one who spoke about his ex throughout the entire date, the one who appeared flawless until he disappeared without a sound. As far as I'm concerned, I've been left in the dust. My 20s were meant to be this golden age of discovering the one, yet here I am, facing 33. With nothing but a highlight reel of near misses. After 3 years of residing in Southeast Asia, I'm grateful to be out here realizing the dream that I'm fortunate to experience. I exchanged dull skies and office cubicles for humid evenings and street markets, $2 pad thai and sunsets that seem to be painted just for me. I have stories to share, motorbike rides through Hanoi, beach weekends in Bali, a life that Instagram would love to showcase, but the novelty is fading. I'm finished being an independent woman. I previously wore that label like a badge of honor, paying my own bills, booking my own flights, needing no one. Look at the data. More women than ever are single beyond 30, outpacing men in education and income, according to the U.S. Census and Pew Research. I was proud to be part of that trend. But now it feels like an empty success. I've decided I am no longer a strong, independent woman who requires no man. I'm exhausted from pretending I don't desire a partner to rely on, someone to share the responsibilities, not just the bills, but the late-night conversations, the big aspirations, the quiet times. I weigh 220 elves, but the reality is I carry my weight very well. I have curves that attract attention, a confidence that fills a room. People say it, and I believe it. Sure, the plus-size label comes with its challenges, but I've learned to embrace it. I think there might be some better possibilities out there. Maybe not here, where the dating scene appears to be a shallow puddle, but elsewhere, somewhere men still view a woman like me as a prize, not a project. Oh my God, the scenery here is amazing. Rice paddies extending endlessly, the kind of view that makes you feel small yet alive. Yet, I don't want to be single anymore. These picture-perfect moments lose their charm when you're capturing them alone. I'll be 33 next month. I'm okay. I've got my health, my drive, my passport filled with adventures, but I need men to step up. I'm not settling for scraps anymore. I want the whole damn cake. You've got to leave the West. Go where you're treated the best. I hear it all the time now. Men heading to Colombia, Thailand, Ukraine, pursuing women who still blush at a compliment. Splitting a bill 50/50 is nonsense. Call me traditional, but I want to be courted, not invoiced. Men should cover all expenses. It's not about the money. It's about the gesture, the intention. I don't care how much money I ever earn. I still want my man to cover everything. I could be making 6 figures, and I'd still expect him to take the check. It's not entitlement, it's principle, a sign he's committed, not just cruising along. Passport bros, though, to begin with, they're predators. I believe that when they travel abroad, they're focusing on women who are more susceptible. All right, let's discuss passport bras. The only women they'll attract are those they're financially supporting. That led me to decide to visit Italy today. Have you ever been to the Balkans? You understand what I'm referring to. It's predominantly men. You can't realistically anticipate that sort of chivalry I've experienced in other nations, even in those I cherish and choose to date in. Italy has this romantic atmosphere, but it's undergoing a change. More American male toxicity is infiltrating. German men. I felt they were quite akin to American men. They prefer to split costs 50/50. If they do cover the expenses, they're definitely hoping for something in return. If you don't provide them something, it breeds resentment. With men nowadays, it's as though they're lingering on the sidelines, expecting women to take the initiative. I appreciate it, y'all, but this is becoming a universal phenomenon. I'm even noticing Italian men adopting this behavior increasingly. American men are realizing that there's an entire world where women genuinely appreciate men. Grandma's whipping up an incredible feast over there. 4 Filipino dishes today, one of which is a dessert. Yes, a Filipino dessert. The living expenses are excellent. You can find decent accommodations for $500 or $600 monthly. This is what $500 a month can get you in Bangkok, Thailand. I'm exhausted from the game. The dating game. Yeah, I prepared for no reason. I've been single for 7 years. I deserve to share who I am with someone. I deserve someone. I deserve to meet someone. I'm 30 and starting to think that this whole dying alone idea might not just be a joke. It could become reality. I used to criticize girls who settled, and now I hope to become one. But those women abroad, they're going to take advantage of you. They're going to treat you worse than American women do. They have elevated expectations. In the Philippines, Thailand, you're interacting with women who speak very little English, women lacking education. They're unaware of the possibilities available to them. The standards are lower there because most women emerge from poverty, right? Almost every Mexican girl I've dated here, however, is well educated. They hold high-paying positions. They're engineers, supply chain managers, dentists, doctors, lawyers. Have you ever attended parties or ended up in a dangerous neighborhood? Yeah, I worked in a favela in Brazil. Oh really, you worked in a favela? Yes, I was volunteering with children. It's a transformative experience over there. Another significant cultural distinction is the degree of unreliability. This was quite a source of frustration for me in the US, because it appeared that nearly half of the appointments I set would get canceled on me. Here in Mexico, once I have an appointment made, there's a 90% likelihood it's going to take place. To the left, you can observe what appears to be a baby orangutan, but it's actually my son, Teddy. Raising a family in the Philippines proves to be much more economical and attainable than back home. The aspect about passport bras that no one wants to discuss. A lot of these men are genuinely going abroad for underage girls. Let's call it what it is. Modern women on dating applications are exceedingly selective and hold unrealistic standards. They notice one imperfection in your photographs or how you present yourself, and you get rejected. I'm sure you all are aware of the research that indicated women consider 80% of men to be below average. I believe this stems from Instagram and social media, how their perceived self-worth has skyrocketed. Men pursue women and always have, so young women experience considerably more demand than even a very attractive guy, unless he possesses significant wealth or is exceptionally thrilling. It gets exhausting swiping through all these single, stunning women, and after countless swipes, only connecting with transsexuals or women who are entirely out of shape. Every so often, an appealing girl will add you, only to not respond or remove you shortly thereafter. They engage in this behavior for attention. It's akin to a drug for them. Moreover, there's no genuine community here anymore, which leads most men to frequent bars and clubs. However, that seldom results in anything substantial. Even if one expresses interest, these modern women either carry so much baggage, like children and ex-partners, or they'll just unhesitatingly betray you when you're not present. They are significantly more promiscuous and casual about intimacy nowadays. Women here no longer deliberately choose who they have children with. It seems to just occur with whomever they are with at that moment. Their sense of self-worth is so elevated that they still view themselves as great catches, even with 3 kids under 10 years old. They think you're supposed to pursue them with remarkable charm and enthusiasm. There are completely no consequences for women's sexual conduct in our culture, allowing them to move from man to man, frequently overlapping relationships, even if they're merely utilizing that man temporarily. Their gaze is perpetually set on the next new, thrilling man to attract them. It is also generally unappealing to a man when a woman has been with 30 to 50 men by the time she reaches 25. It's somewhat unfortunate, in truth, because these women likely desire a family. But they entirely disregard men who can offer that due to their excessively superficial criteria. It becomes apparent to women as they age and lose some sexual appeal. Foreign women, however, they appear to be much more dedicated to family and honoring their partner as an integral part of themselves, remaining together for higher principles, not merely for thrills. Numerous Western women lack wisdom. If they develop feelings for that coworker they're frequently around, they assume they must pursue those emotions, and they simply end up moving from one guy to another. Living my best life merely signifies pursuing desires without end. Additionally, a significant number of them are secretly engaging in prostitution to sugar daddies or on webcams to afford trips around the globe. They believe travel holds profound significance rather than constructing their own meaningful household. Yet, simultaneously, they all seem to perceive themselves as oppressed and are astonished by the existence of a pay gap. The relationship dynamics between women and men in Western society have become highly distorted and unnatural. It feels like we've struck a hammer down on a system that, despite its imperfections, possessed some foundational elements, some reasoning that kept everything intact. Presently, it's an unregulated free-for-all, a chaotic situation where individuals no longer recognize their roles. The way things were 5 decades ago wasn't solely oppression by the church and the patriarchy. It presented a legitimate structure that facilitated a more harmonious society and fostered stronger families with less heartbreak for everyone. In that era, roles were distinctly defined. Men were providers, women were nurturers, and yes, it wasn't ideal. Women faced unfair treatment on multiple occasions, but there was a certain rhythm to it. Divorce rates were lower. In the U.S., they were around 2.5 per 1,000 individuals in the 1960s, according to CDC data, compared to almost double that today. Children were more frequently raised in households with both parents and the community. Neighbors, religious institutions, even the local shop, upheld that family unit. It wasn't all perfect, but it didn't resemble the chaotic landscape of ghosting and Tinder matches we see now. People persevered, for better or worse, because there was a framework to rely on, not merely feelings that fade when the next appealing option appears. Contrast that with the present. Our media is promoting the falsehood that men and women are interchangeable and that previously established roles carry no significance. It's prevalent in Netflix specials, glossy magazine layouts, and those unbearable think pieces on X. Ceaseless chatter about how gender is merely a construct, how we're all alike, how the nuclear family is just an artifact of oppression. Yet, if we are so interchangeable, why does it seem like we are more divided than ever? Why are birth rates plummeting -1? 6 children per woman in the U.S. in 2024, significantly below replacement level, while statistics on loneliness are rising. The World Health Organization highlighted it last year. We're experiencing a loneliness epidemic, with 1 in 4 adults reporting chronic isolation. Perhaps those ancient roles weren't simply shackles. Maybe they served as guardrails. Men understood they needed to step up, provide for the family, repair the roof, because that instilled in them a sense of purpose. Women maintained the home, not because they were compelled, but because it was a significant endeavor, a power in its own right. Currently, we have men adrift, women exhausted, and a culture that celebrates when someone lives their truth, but dismisses it when the pieces no longer align. This isn't nostalgia speaking. It's the recognition of patterns. Examine the data. Nations adhering to traditional structures, like Poland or Japan, still produce stronger family units, even if they face their own challenges. Here, we've swapped stability for limitless options, and the consequences are showing. Young men are opting out, favoring video games and cryptocurrency over pursuing women who don't appear to require them. Women are reaching the age of 35, browsing TikTok, questioning why the empowerment they were promised feels like a solitary pursuit. The media presents a polished narrative. Break the mold, embrace freedom. Roles are obsolete. But freedom devoid of structure merely leaves us adrift, unmoored, untethered, gazing at screens for purpose. 50 years ago, you would court someone from your community, marry by 22, have children by 25. And yes, it might have been rigid, but it followed a narrative. Now, it's a choose-your-own-adventure story with no conclusion, just blank pages and an indistinct sense of anxiety. I'm not suggesting we should turn back time. Women's rights, LGBTQ+ rights, all that progress is significant. But we've discarded the valuable elements along with the negative. We lack a substitute for what we dismantled, possessing only this ambiguous assurance that you do you will resolve everything. It hasn't. It won't. The patriarchy wasn't merely a terrifying figure. It was an essential framework, flawed yet functional. The church wasn't just about dogma. It served as a cohesive force. Sunday sermons acted as social contracts. Now we have influencers promoting self-love, while divorce attorneys rake in profits and children are raised on iPads instead of porches. Our grandparents fought wars and constructed bridges. We're arguing over pronouns and swiping past one another. Something is amiss, and pretending otherwise is merely ignoring the reality. That's all for today regarding manhood, or what remains of it in this chaotic world. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Give that algorithm a boost so more people can join this discussion. Click on the notification bell to be the first to learn when I release a new video. I'm not slowing down on this. If you're agreeing, share it. Let's initiate some genuine conversation. And hey, if you have personal experiences, how you're managing this chaos, what you're observing out there, post them in the comments. I read them, I promise. This isn't merely a rant, it's a call to action. We need to determine what's next before we all become just echoes on an empty platform. So hit those buttons, stay engaged, and let's continue uncovering the layers. I'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp out there.